Hey y'all, welcome to PJs and Mugs. This is story time with Jessica. It's all good. Hi y'all, welcome back to PJs and Mugs. It's me, Jessica. It's all good. I hope you're doing good. And I'm happy to be here with you today. Cheers. Yeah, forgive me. I literally just got my nails done. I've been doing them a lot more lately, so I'm talking with my hands. So you might notice me talking with my hands. Look, it's so cute because I feel so cute right now. Anyway, hey y'all. Welcome back to another episode of PJs and Mugs. I hope you're enjoying this August. I sure enough am. I'm actually super tired. These gigs are insane this month. But one thing I said I was going to talk about in August was travel. So before we get into the story, let's go ahead and talk about today's mug. I've got a tumbler mug, the kind of stuff that keeps things nice and warm, nice and cold. And I've specifically chosen this one because of the story I'm doing today. This says, a wise woman once said, I got to get out of here. And she lived happily ever after. This was given from a friend who has also sometimes assisted me with a lot of great things and assisted me in the past. And when I retired from my old DJ spot, the DJ spot where I used to DJ like till 3 a.m. for 5 years, then I was in charge and sometimes DJing 4, 5, 6 nights a week. It took so much out of me that I realized my career is not going to allow me to go in the direction I've been planning if I stay here, and it was going to affect my health. So I was like, it's time to go. And so I did like a little goodbye party, and then I got retirement gifts. And this is one of the ones that my friend and assistant gave me. So I'm just like, oh, thank you. This is deep. So the timing that we're in right now is so crazy because I actually just shut down another thing I did for over 5 years. Just shut down a comedy show I had for 5.5 years. And I'm kind of making some changes. So I'm letting go of a theater that I've worked with for 15 years between improv and comedy and things like that. So really awesome place on my heart there. And then the place where I host karaoke right now. By the time I'm done, it will have been 6 years. We have one like last Tuesday karaoke night left, and then I'm going to specialty things only when they call me once a year for like a holiday show. So I'll be back in December, but after 6 years of DJing every month and at one point every week, I am walking away from a lot of things. So this is kind of funny to be drinking out of this as now August, while I've left all these things. August has been amazing, and to the point that like maybe letting go of some of those things are giving me freedom to do so much more. So sometimes you just have to leave things and be grateful for what they gave you as you move to the next level, the next journey, the next endeavor, whatever. So thank you to all the places that have allowed me to serve you in entertainment. I hope that you appreciate everything as I appreciated you. Thank you to my lovely assistant for this. And now, for the story that I've chosen. I've chosen a story of my first out-of-state gig as a comedian. On this gig, I actually took an assistant with me. What's really cool about being an entertainer is you can have fun with the people that work with you. So I've had a lot of assistants in my past that have just been volunteers who are like, Jessica, we believe in you. We're going to go with you. And then they'll literally go with me for things and do things and help me just because they're like, what you're doing is good. So this friend of mine, I think she's okay with me using her name. So I'll go ahead and say Nina. What's up, Nina? I call this friend my twin bestie because when we met, we were literally wearing like the same thing with the same hairstyle vibe and the same Converse style shoes, like head to toe, pink shirts, jeggings, neck scarves. One was purple, the other one was purple and pink. Like it was almost insane how much we looked alike and our personalities were alike, to the point that people thought we were the same person until the end of the night when someone gave her pictures of what they thought was her, but it's actually me. And when she came up to me, she's like, this is not me, this is you. And I'm just like, what? Then we had this whole Parent Trap moment. It was crazy. I don't think I've done that story here, but that's kind of a fun story to stretch out one day. But when I say it was crazy, it was crazy. So that's how I met my beloved assistant, Nina Parker. Nina is married to a man whose last name is also Parker. So this couple, Nina and Joseph, became like the core of my team in the early days of my career. Because after having this epic moment, they were like, we're going to come to your show. They came to my show, start doing photography, just start popping in and helping. And from there, we created a relationship that said, hey, we're here for you, buddy. We're here for you because we feel that a divine situation has said that we should be here for you. And that's where they came from. So that meeting, connecting, was February 2013. By March, they were at a show. By, I think this time, I want to say by around August, I was doing my first out-of-state gig. Remember, I started comedy in 2012 after giving a speech in 2011. I realized I said remember, but I don't know if I've actually mentioned that in any of these videos. And this is like video number 34, I think. So I don't know. You just got to know. But the point is, I started in 2012, and before I hit a year, I was already getting out-of-state gigs. So I had a gig in Alabama, and I was like, I'll ask Nina if she wants to go with me. So Nina and I took a trip to Auburn, Alabama, so I could do a show at this very fancy hotel across from Auburn University. And in this hotel, we had a good time. But here's the thing, several things happened. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, y'all know I shoot this show in the basement, right? There is something over there. I don't know if that's like a spider or baby spider eggs. The spiders just run over this basement, and this backdrop is so cute, but there's actually some really creepy things down here. And I'm like, what is that? I'm gonna have my husband deal with that when this is over. Anyway, so I'm not gonna look at it. I'm not gonna look at it. It's not there. I'm not stopping this video, y'all. It takes too much for me to get down here in the first place. What was I talking about? Nina. So Nina and I take a trip. This is back when I had my little sexy 2010 red Mustang. And so we came in sexy, okay? We get there, and I was wearing, so there's a lot of, I'm trying to tell you all as much as I can in a little bit, because so much happened on this trip. But when we get there, I'm wearing like a big sun hat and a sundress. There's no bra, so things are just kind of floppy, if you know what I mean. That being said, I saw a Google car, like right when we got into the little downtown Auburn area. We were walking around and I saw a Google car. Sometimes, y'all, I will do things and not always think it through. And at that time, I had a friend who told me about Google cars and how they're basically like a unicorn in the wild. Now, you'll see things like a Waymo and things driving itself. So it's like not as big of a deal. But in 2013, catching a Google car with all its cameras was like, yeah, there it is. And so I saw it. Made me think of what my friend said, and I didn't think anything else before I was running down the street, chasing the Google car on foot with flip-flops on, no bra, and a bunch of people. Let's be honest, y'all, that's Alabama, and if you know, you know. So this is probably quite the sight for some people. I'm gonna stop right there and leave it at that. Anyway, so I'm chasing this Google car on foot. I've abandoned Nina. Apparently Nina is like, what is wrong with you, woman? Why are you running on foot after a Google car? And I guess I didn't think about what I was going to do if I caught it, because I'm a human and this is a vehicle. And then I thought about how dogs chase cars, but they like, do they ever catch them? What do they do when they catch the car? I didn't think it all through. I didn't catch the car, but I got back to Nina and I'm breathing like, oh my God, it's a Google car. And Nina's like, what? Mind you, we just met a few months ago. So she's still figuring out, like, we both are like extreme people. We are both big personalities. We are both kind of crazy at times. But I guess Nina's just like, I don't like, sometimes she looks at me and I guess it's like, who can top the other one? And hey, this is crazy. So Nina's looking at me like, Jessica, what are you doing? And I'm like, what? It was a Google car, because at that moment it felt like a good explanation. Looking back, I see why it wasn't. So as we're talking about it, and as she's trying to tell me why this is crazy, the Google car passed back by. And as I'm talking to her, I'm like, Google car! And I ran off again. And I have stopped chasing Google cars on foot after that trip, but I just need to say that, hey, it wasn't my brightest moment, but it was fun. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to hide this shirt. Y'all, look, I am not wearing regular pajamas, okay? I'm just wearing a bathrobe, and you're not supposed to see that. Don't look behind the curtain. It's going to be regular pajamas next week. I'm going to have my life together next week. Just deal with it, okay? Anyway, so that is me chasing the Google car in Auburn, Alabama on foot with my brand new assistant, Nina. Now, we get to a bookstore. And at this bookstore is for the college. Now, I like to get to know things about the areas I'm in when I go there. But sometimes you only have but so much time. And you'll get it in going to a restaurant, going to a bookstore, going to a place like this. So we're in a college bookstore. Now, I heard about the Auburn War Eagle for so long that I was under the impression that that was their mascot, y'all. Only to get to this bookstore and find out that their mascot is actually a tiger. So now I'm like, wait, but why do you have an eagle then? But what's the deal with the tiger? Apparently, the dude at the bookstore got mad at all my questions because he's like, it's a history, it's a thing. And I'm like, why does your school sound like it has an identity crisis? Then he's like mad, so he gives me a book, like, read the book. I'm like, I am a graduate of the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina, okay? I'm a graduate of Spartanburg Methodist College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I don't have time to learn about your school's history. I'm not even here for you. But y'all, there is a book from Auburn University explaining something about why they have tigers as mascots, but they scream War Eagle because an eagle flies. I don't know. Talk to your school. If you are in the state of Alabama and you saw this and you're a graduate of Auburn, I'm sorry, but you knew your school had an identity crisis. I said what I said. And yes, I said that in the show that night too. Good times. You will ruffle some feathers when you come for those schools. Anyway, so Nina and I got a kick out of that. But then it's what happened after the show. Oh, the times we've had. So we ended up at some club. Now, understand, I was a goody two-shoes, but like Nina and Joseph, they were the ones who I would say I was the bad twin and they kept me grounded. So I would find us in these fun situations. And I apparently at some point made up some code word that if we're in danger, use this code word and then we're going to come out, right? So we go to this club because it felt like a good idea at the time. Someone told us. We're in there. I missed the fact that these guys are wearing, like, they're strapped with, like, rifles, okay? I missed the fact that big fights were happening outside. And I missed the fact that there was so much danger. But Nina caught all of it. And she's like, I told my husband I was going to be with you. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, there's a lot going on. She's like, Jessica, let's go get some strawberries. I'm like, why are you talking about strawberries? We're at the club. Places with strawberries be closed right now. She's like, Jessica, we need strawberries. I'm like, dude, what, like in a drink? I thought we weren't drinking. It was a whole thing. Later on, she's like, Jessica, strawberry was the code word. I'm like, it was? We have a code word? She's like, Jessica, this was your idea and your code word. I'm like, really? Yo, this code word thing isn't going to work. So, needless to say, Nina loves me, but apparently that was a very frustrating time for her, and her husband got mad, and I'm like, please don't tell your husband, but she had to tell her husband, because at that time I didn't understand if you're in a good marriage, you tell your spouse everything. I get it now. I'm married. Oh, those are good times. And then one of the other funny things that happened on this trip in the hotel. So remember that whole no bra thing? That was kind of a thing that just kept happening. So we're like, we're done with the show. We're having a good night. We decided to go downstairs to get something, but it's not like we had robes or anything. We're just wearing shirts and that's it, right? So then it hit me. We're out here and we're not, like we don't want our headlights on. So I'm like, listen, I have a plan. Okay, I didn't come up with a let's just go back upstairs and put our bras back on. I didn't come up with a let's just cross our arms and help keep things in place. No. My bright idea was let's cover our ears. I know, it was a really stupid idea, y'all. We were walking around this fancy hotel with our ears closed because I was like, see how your arms land? No one's gonna know. I did think about the fact that we looked crazy walking around like, yeah, we can't, I don't know what, like, the sensory thing that we have now with the headphones, that is new, y'all. We didn't have that back in the day. So walking around like this, you look crazy, okay? On top of that, when we stepped into an elevator full of people with just enough room for us to get in, the floor was slippery. So then we like tripped. So now we're flopping all over everything and everywhere, and everything is flopping because we couldn't even hold on to our ears. And I guess, made us look like fools on that trip. And now Nina knows, well, at the time, because of her living far away now, she can't do the stuff she did. But this was a very valuable lesson for Nina as my assistant with the whole, you don't know actually what's going to happen with Jessica, and things might get a little crazy. And here's some better ways to be prepared. After all, it was my first trip out of state for a gig. I am so much better now. Do crazy things happen? Yes. But I am so much safer. Okay. Safe word thing is not a thing right now because I still haven't figured that out. But things are better. I pay more attention. I do not chase cars on foot. I don't get into arguments with people about their schools, but it wasn't an argument, by the way. He was trying to argue with me, but whatever. And I don't come up with dumb ideas like, let's cover our ears so people don't notice we don't have on bras. I've come such a long way. So I want to say, Nina, I love you so much. Thank you for all the epic things that you have done to help me with my career. Shout out to all the assistants I've ever had, the assistants I have now, for everything that you have done for me. I just want to promise you, if you are currently one on that list, do know something probably crazy is going to happen. And I'm probably going to exploit that for money on this because I need more things to talk about on PJs and Mugs, okay? And then shout out to my assistants from the past who have done sweet things like this. I still remember every single one of you. I'm still grateful for you, and I love you guys. Thank y'all for joining me for another travel story with Jessica's All Good here on PJs and Mugs. Give it up for whatever that thing is on the floor that I'm going to have my husband save me from. It could be spider babies. I don't know what that is. I think it's a sack of spider babies, but I don't know what that looks like. It is so creepy. And thank you fellow watchers who are just hanging out with me in my basement and pretending I'm not in my basement. You guys have a fantastic week. I hope your work week goes great. I'll see you next Sunday for some more PJs and Mugs. Have a great night and bye.